Having a shelter pet be the official state pet would encourage those looking to bring an animal into their lives to consider adopting a pet, and in doing so, saving a life. So I've had the privilege of meeting many families that have adopted shelter animals and have learned just how much these furry friends mean to them and how well these animals have adjusted to living and thriving in the lives with these families. So I'm proud to say that with the support of the ASPCA and everyone here, ACR 56 passed out of the legislature with unanimous support. So thank you for your tireless work.
Just want to say that on behalf of animal shelters across the state, we just want to express our immense gratitude to you for doing this, for making the shelter pet the official state pet of California. And I was thinking if we could just clone you in Sacramento, we'd be doing pretty well with animal welfare in the state. Oops. And I'll make this brief because I know you're all incredibly hot and it's so nice of you to come out today. But I just wanted to point out that we've come such a long way in sheltering since the first shelter I just recently learned was founded in 1862 actually in Los Angeles. Now shelters are places where people go to find amazing, wonderful, lifelong friends. And the beauty of shelters is that there's a dog or a cat for everyone. So if you look around here, there are big ones and little ones and spotted ones and striped ones, and there's something for everyone. But most importantly, when you adopt a shelter pet, what you're doing is you're saving a life, and you're playing your part in helping to end the pet overpopulation problem in this state and in this country. So if you have a shelter pet with you today, give your shelter pet an extra special hug, and if you don't, I'm hoping that you'll soon be able to welcome one into your life. They're the best. So thank you.
You know, those of us who work in shelters here, who are always trying to figure out ways to entice people to get a shelter pet, have tried everything. We tried social awareness. We try, dealing with the prices. We do media campaigns, and we even have reached out and said, look, people, there's a national average that at least 25 to 35% of all dogs in the shelter and cats are purebred. So if you don't need something instantly and you can wait, you will find a specific breed that you're looking for. We've all gone online. We've made it easier for you to look without actually making a trip to the shelter. And then something happened which made my head explode, which is that people started paying $3,000 and $5,000 for designer mutts like Labradoodles and Puggles. And I thought I was literally going to have an aneurysm when I saw that. And I said, how many designer mutts do you all have here, right? We've got millions and millions of designer mutts. And so one day we decided to get people into the shelter, to say, look, you want, a Chihuahua? We have several. Are you interested in a Labmation? We'll give you a certificate that you have a Labmation. And if you really want a special dog, try this Corgoranian, because that's another designer dog. And so, of course, half the people who saw that got the point, come into the shelter. We don't need to be spending $3,000 on a designer mutt. And the other half of the people thought I had lost my mind. And I'll tell you a secret, both are true. So this hopefully will be something that helps to solve this problem. If children have to memorize the state bird, the state flower, and the state pet as part of California history, if other states follow in our footsteps, if adopting the shelter pet becomes the it thing to do, if it makes it okay, if it validates it, then hopefully more people will come in and help find a home for these dogs and cats and turtles and hamsters that are here waiting for a family. So on behalf of the millions of animals that are in shelters, not just in California, but all over the place, who saw what we did here in California, who always leads the nation in animal welfare legislation, we thank you. I thank my colleagues and members of the public that helped make it so, and we've got to get everyone in to adopt a state pet. Don't you think? Thank you.
Actually, Riverside has been leading the charge on progressive legislation to try to manage this pet overpopulation problem. All right, the shelter staff agrees with that. Keep your pets, people, please. Don't leave them at the shelter. Do everything you can. Find help. There's food banks and people that will help with medical. So thank you for being here. Thank you for adopting your pets. And thank you, Assemblymember Linder, so much. And we look forward to working with you in the future as well. Thank you.
My name is Renee Reston. I'm with S.T.A.R.T. We're a shelter, transport, animal rescue team. And we primarily do our transports of animals from high-kill shelters, primarily Riverside, to destinations, humane societies, and rescues up north, Oregon, and Robert Miller and Dr. Drusies and the amazing staff here for what they do and how they lead the charge in what a shelter should be like. I also want to thank Assemblymember for this amazing legislation. To call a shelter pet a state pet is incredible. I will no longer call them shelter pets. They're going to be state pets for me as well. And I encourage everyone to adopt a shelter pet, spay, neuter, but as you know, Judy was saying, don't give up on your pets. You know, I have 2 brats at home that probably no one else would have wanted, but I adore them and love them and all their issues and would never, ever, ever consider giving up my animal. Those are my kids, they're my family, and that's how shelter pets, state pets, should be treated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for everyone being here today. This is very important. Over 500,000 animals get killed in our shelter system every year, so it's so important to adopt, not shop. We must raise awareness. We must be a voice for the voiceless. I encourage everybody to tell your friends, share on social media, whatever you can. Go to the shelters, take pictures of the animals, post them on Facebook, post them on Instagram and Twitter. It's one of the most important things that we can do instead of going to the pet store and buying these animals, because it is still legal in some states to go to pet stores and buy these animals. So legislation is probably one of the most important things we can pass in the states, and I'm so happy that California made the decision to make the California state pet the shelter pet. So thank you so much for being here, and we really appreciate you guys being a voice for the voiceless.
When I first heard about Assemblyman Linder's legislation, at first I kind of scratched my head and thought, I don't know how impactful that is. And then I started thinking back to when I lived in Arizona about 11 years ago. My then 7-year-old son came home from school one day and was so proud that he could recite the state bird, the state rock, of all things. He listed off all these important facts about the state of Arizona. And I remember that, and that really led me to start thinking about how important this legislation really is for children in the schools. We spend an enormous amount of time and energy and money trying to educate our children, trying to create a new generation of pet owners in this state and in this country. And what a great piece that's added now into the history books, into the social education, the social fiber of our schools. So thank you very much, Assemblyman. We're very proud to be a part of this legislation. So this is S.T.A.R.T, who was adopted from us. She's now 14. She's probably the oldest shelter adoption dog that's here today. 5 months old when she got her. Jamie actually got her before I started with the county, because that was 10 and a half years ago. But S.T.A.R.T has done some amazing things since being adopted. S.T.A.R.T has actually worked as a therapy dog, so she's been a service dog. She's worked with at-risk children that were in abuse situations. She would go into the investigative rooms with the police detectives to help calm the children as they were trying to extract the facts of the situation. So we can't thank Jamie enough for bringing S.T.A.R.T, and we can't thank S.T.A.R.T enough for her service to mankind. Thank you, Jamie. I'm very proud that this is at Riverside County today. I hope everybody thinks that in Riverside we can empower our people to make better choices for pet ownership. I thought it was very funny to hear Madeline's take on the designer breeds. It's so true. I mean, designer breeds make us all laugh because that's all this facility is full of for the most part is designer breeds. Mutts. I have a designer breed at home myself, and I'm very proud of him. He hogs the covers every night, and in the morning he crawls under the covers, and usually spreads out sideways, not lengthwise. So once again, thank you everybody for coming.